Well, good gosh and gee willikers, folks. Welcome back aboard the good ship Boomerang. Today, we are talking about power again. If you watch this channel at all, you'll know that this winter I did an extensive refit of the power situation. Brand new batteries, new house bank, new starter, new cabling, battery monitor, ACR. I went bananas on it. And part of the rationale for doing that was to make this mostly racing boat at least be able to double as a cruiser. I've got a trip that I'm planned to head to the Thousand Islands for a couple weeks here this summer, and I started thinking about my ability to anchor out for an extended period of time, and I started to get worried that my 200 amp hour house bank was insufficient for those purposes. So enter my little friend. I'd like to introduce you to one of two 100-watt panels. These are eco-worthy panels. They're bifacial 100-watt panels. They're part of a package that you can get on Amazon. And I easily justified this purchase. The package was $230, something like that, Canadian. That was the 200-watt panels and this kit that you need for installing. So included in this kit, you have the cables that run from the solar panels. You have the Y connector cables that you need to connect to these cables to run to the charge controller. The kit comes with a charge controller. This is what they call, I understand, a pulse width modulation, PWM style charge controller. And I understand that they are terribly inefficient, and well, everything else looks kind of top tier. Like the panel looks amazing to me, and the cables look like quality cables. This looks like not quality, and quite frankly, it's not recommended. So what I did to supplement is what? Ta-da! Victron, of course, to the rescue. This is a Victron 100 volt by 200 amp charge controller, MPPT, which is the preferred solar charge controller. And this little guy, it's not much bigger than the crap one, but is, you know, the famous Victron Blue, of course, and it has Bluetooth, so I can monitor things on my phone like a psycho. But more importantly, it's much more efficient at harvesting all of the energy that the solar that you have is creating. So that's pretty exciting. I have an inkling, based on my extensive conversations with ChatGPT, that this is going to be sufficient for me to stay at anchor potentially indefinitely. So maybe I'll never come back. So this stuff all just arrived at my house today, and I came down after work because I was excited to play with my new toys. And what we're going to do is I'm going to figure out where I want to put this stuff. Oh, I should say, so this boat is still going to be primarily for fun racing. Affixing a solar array to the boat in a permanent capacity is not on. So what I'm going to do instead is these panels will be put out and then put away again when I want to use them. That's the idea. These are a lot beefier and heavier than I thought they were going to be, and it makes me wish that I had bought the flexible kind, but the flexible kind just weren't available, certainly not at this price point and this rating of efficiency. These are bifacial, which means that if there's sun hitting the white deck of the boat and bouncing back up to the underside, it's going to collect energy from that as well as from the top. I think they're up to 25% efficiency as a result of that, which is pretty good, because not too long ago panels were struggling to get 20% efficiency. So I'm no expert in any of this stuff, by the way. I've just been learning as I go and as I've turned my mind to my power needs. Okay, so don't mind this mess. I'm just if I don't have that up right now, the sun is pouring in and you won't be able to see anything. So what I got to figure out is how do I want to set this all up. Now, for the first time since I put it in, I've taken a look in my battery compartment here, and pleased to report that everything is as I left it when I installed it. Everything seems nice and tight. No movement on anything. So that's good. So now I have to figure out a few things. I have to figure out, where does this guy live on my boat? Okay, so the plan is to put it here. Now, that's maybe suboptimal in the sense that, well, for a few reasons. One, it's not hidden away in a covered area, but this, I mean, no water comes down here. This is well and truly covered from the elements. So even if I'm taking water inside, it's not going to get wet over here. So I'm not worried about that. The other problem that I have is, or that I worry about, and maybe I shouldn't be worried about this, but I am, is that my engine is right under here. So this thing produces a lot of heat, and that heat obviously radiates, and it's going to radiate to up to there for sure. Now, this thing is rated to work in like 100 degrees Celsius or something like that. It said, I think it's maximally efficient up to 40 degrees Celsius, which is still pretty dang hot. So I don't think I have a problem. What the instructions want is so that there's cooling fans on the back. They want it mounted such that there is at least 10 centimeters of openness above and 10 centimeters of openness below. 10 centimeters is just under, a hair under 4 inches. So that's there. So as long as I've got it installed thusly, that's plenty below and more than enough above. Get out of here, paper towel. Sorry, I've got fans going on right now because it is, it's hot. It's summertime, baby. Okay, so that little package that I got included cabling to go from the battery posts here to your battery bank, but it looks way undersized to me. It's like maybe 16 gauge, and I'm interested in more like 10 gauge. Maybe even 8 would be super ideal, but I think that's overkill. So 10 is what I'm looking for. And I've measured it all out. I think I have to do a run of about between 6 and 7 feet. So maybe I'll buy 7 and 7 so that it's even, because you want the return to be about the same as the go. So I'm gonna drill holes so I can run the cabling in behind there, in behind here, and then down through the hole that's already drilled to come into the battery box here, where I can connect positive and negative to the bank. And then I will install the cabling for the panels. And I'm thinking I'm just gonna bring it up along here, tie it into here, and then this is where my boat key lives, and nothing else really. So I think I'll just leave the cabling kind of coiled up in here and ready to dispatch, so that when I get to my anchorage and I am ready to deploy the power makers, I can just pull them out of there, pull the cabling through here up to where they go on the deck, which should be here, and here. And kind of a side benefit, now that I think about it, I don't have any curtains in here, obviously. And when I'm at anchor and that sun is hitting here, I'll have those panels in the way, providing some lovely shade. Win, win, win. Okay, so that's step one of this whole process, was just getting everything on board. You can see I've got the panels here. They're probably just gonna live in this quarter berth and then come out when I need them to come out. Maybe in the fullness of time, should this boat get converted from part-time cruiser to full-time cruiser, I could use that bimini and mount one panel on that side and the other panel on that side and run the cabling down through a hole in the back and still come up and hit into this point, and I think that would be just fine. But that is a future that I do not need to worry about. And look, if this works really well, I may just I may get the flexible panels if I can find flexible panels that are as efficient for not too much money, because this wasn't that much money. Oh, I should say, I almost never anchor out. And you know, my wife rightly said to me, why are you buying this stuff? You're not going to be anchored out. And I said, but now I can. And my justification for it is to be at a marina for a night now, these days, it's $100 a night to be moored there. And this was $300. So by boat logic, if I anchor out for 3 nights, this whole system is paid for itself. And then every usage after that is free, right? That's how money works, right? Okay. Next time you see me, hopefully I will have purchased the cabling I need to start drilling some holes and get this stuff installed. Okay, so after a bit of light planning and drilling and screwing, I now have this guy mounted here, and these are the solar cables, which I have done a little bit of cable management to run up here in behind the bag that they're gonna live in. And you can see that they easily stretch, that they will easily reach that side deck or that side deck without any problem. So all I need now is the battery cables, which are gonna run out of here. I drilled these ugly holes for it to go in behind, and then down below, hook up to the batteries, and then I have solar power. Is it possibly that easy? Why doesn't everybody do this? I guess they do. That's probably why the flexible ones are sold out. Okay, let's go. Okay, so it is the next day. Actually, it's a few days later, and we are all hooked up and operating. So let's show you what it looks like in its operational state. Here is the charge controller. I've got the wires running to the panels. I'm storing them in here when I'm not using them. But they're running sort of like this into the charge controller. These are going to the battery. I do have a 30 amp inline fuse going to the battery, so that's properly fused. And then the panels, I'm just tying like this, and I've got lines off on the bottom that I can tie to the tow rail, or maybe even to the lifelines if I want to adjust the angle. Obviously, when I'm on the hook, I can swap these from side to side depending on where the sun is coming from. And just to test, now it's 11 o'clock in the morning, so, and pretty bright sun, like that's full sun. So what are we doing? I should also mention that I've got every light on in the boat. Got the fridge plugged in to my DC circuit. I've got all 3 fans running. I have the VHF tuned to the weather channel, so it's constantly receiving. I've got my stereo on. So in terms of electrical usage in the boat, this is pretty much max. So what's happening right now? Let's go to the old Victron apps, and maybe what I'll do is I'll just record my screen so I can share with you what I'm looking at. Okay, so we're looking at the smart charger, or the smart solar information page right now, and you can see that I'm generating 151 to 152 watts of power. and that's bringing in 7.5 amps into the system. So that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. So these are obviously 200 watts when combined. Now they're in parallel, not series, because I need it to be 12 volts for my system. But 151 watts out of a full potential of 200, and these are not angled properly, I'd say is pretty decent. Now, if we go to the smart monitor, we will see that with everything on, I'm in the negative right now. It actually just jumped to positive. I think it maybe depends on how what's happening on the VHF, maybe, because it uses a fair bit of power when it's receiving, although it seems to be receiving constantly. Or maybe it had to do with some kind of cloud that went by. I don't know. Now we're in the positive. We're making 2 amps with everything on. I would call this a huge win. I think, so let's see what happens if I start shutting systems down. So or at least I'll put this back to that. So with no VHF receiving, what happens? 2.5 amps coming in. Let's start turning off lights. Okay, so that's 5 lights have now been shut off, and now we're making 5.8 amps. Last thing, we'll do the fans one at a time. So turn that one off, and 6.1. So we are 6.1 amps to the good. Huge win. The other nice benefit about the panels being positioned like this is that it provides some shade in here. So instead of the sun coming in and cooking the inside of the cabin, it's shaded. That's a win-win. I'm delighted. I can't wait to get to the Thousand Islands and test this in a real-world scenario. But I think this dockside test proves that I should be good. I should be able to stay on the hook for days and days and days, assuming I get sun, without ever having to start the motor to charge the batteries or head to a marina to plug in. So worth $400, 100%. Would recommend. See ya.